what are 5 Thomas Sowell books that you should consider owning? Well, I will encourage you to have Charter Schools and Their Enemies. The second one I actually don't have with me, and it's called Discrimination and Disparities by Thomas Sowell, Dr. Thomas Sowell. That one is an excellent book to get you thinking and understanding what are the different pieces that come in when you're talking about success in different groups and things like that. What factors can affect success? I think it's a great book. One of the quotes in the beginning of that book actually makes the claim that there's never been a time any society had development equally in every region, basically. And so, interesting book. It's called Discrimination and Disparities. This one is called Charter Schools and Their Enemies. It talks about the state of education in America, of course, which is in a very starved state, very, very sad state. I'm a director of a STEM school in Moorhead, Minnesota, and Grand Forks, North Dakota. I work with our school there too as well. And I can tell you that there's a lot of public school kids who are not getting the education they need. And so this book is a good resource to address the topic of education as well as talk about the challenges that charter schools might face. The third book, I'm just going to give a quick commercial, is called Basic Economics. This is, of course, if you want to dive deep into understanding more of economics and the fundamentals of what economics is. Of course, Dr. Thomas Sowell's PhDs in economics. He worked with Milton Friedman at the University of Chicago. And so Basic Economics is a great resource. Now, if you're here and you say, I don't know Dr. Thomas Sowell, why should I read Dr. Thomas Sowell's book? Well, the book Maverick is about Thomas Sowell by Jason Riley, and it gives you a very good background of his story. Dr. Thomas Sowell grew up in New York under some difficult situations, but believe it or not, he went from that situation all the way to places like Harvard and Columbia, and then he got a very good education, and now he's at the Hoover Institute in Stanford University in California. He's 93 years old, but he has published 40 books. And most of them were written after the age of 40. He got his PhD at the age of 40. So Thomas Sowell is one you can learn. You can learn a lot from him. You can learn about discipline. You can learn about diligence. You can learn about success in just whatever field you're working in, and lessons from people who worked in those fields. So that's part of what Thomas Sowell talks about. But he's a conservative thinker. I love how he thinks, and so that's who Thomas Sowell is. And this fourth book will be a great resource for that. This one here is called Vision of the Anointed. It actually talks a little bit about this issue of wokeness and this issue of people virtue signaling and just some of the challenges of the day. Vision of the Anointed, very interesting book. America as a nation needs to be very careful, again, when it comes to its education system, because part of what's happening in our education system, and we saw this happen in Oregon, for example, is that we are seeing them lower the bar to the point where we don't expect a lot from the kids. That needs to stop. Please, America. We need to expect more and provide the tools to help the kids succeed. They can do it. They have the ability. We need to stop lowering the bar. So this book is a good one. I wouldn't say this is one I've seen a lot of people reading, but I'm just saying it does, from the summary I've seen, it talks about some of the challenges today that we're facing and the predictions of the fact that we will get to these challenges. So that's this one. And then lastly, one of the books that you might have heard of or not heard of is called Black Rednecks and White Liberals. Thomas Sowell is just amazing in how he thinks and reasons about different principles and philosophies at work and different patterns, right? Economists are interesting people. I tell people that, a lot of economists are paid well in their field of work. My brother is an economist, and I love economics, actually. So my background is in chemistry, physics, mathematics. But when I was in high school, I actually was one of the best in economics, and I thank God for the opportunity to work hard back in Nigeria. And one of the things you find interesting is that economists, they see certain patterns, right? Come up with interesting ideas. They're pretty smart people, right? They're kind of on the border of, they're doing mathematics and science. They actually do calculus as part of their training. And then they're also on the side of human behavior. So economists have a great blend. And so this book talks about certain principles that were at work in England, affecting the people there, certain habits that were not necessarily good habits. They're not good habits. And we see some of those habits in the southern part of the United States. This is the book where he talks about some of those principles at work, and I think you'll find it very interesting. So what are some of the books you should consider? Definitely check this one out. Discrimination and Disparities, Charter Schools and Their Enemies, Maverick by Jason Riley, which tells you his story. And then, of course, Vision of the Anointed. And I'm sorry, that's 6. I think I miscounted the one in here. And that's because this is more for those who want to dive deeper into economics specifically. But just for anyone who cares about society and understanding where we've come, here are some books, including Discrimination and Disparities. Take care. I hope you enjoyed checking them out, or maybe I'll just do a summary of a few of them. This one for sure, I'll do a summary because we're hoping to start Lifestem Academies, which is the school I've started in Moorhead, Minnesota. We're hoping to start it all across the United States. So if you're interested in changing the course of America's education and raising the next generation of top scientists and thinkers, then reach out to me, please, with the email in the description. We would love to help more families. And if you're homeschooling, we have math curriculums for you, and we can help you with that as well. My education in Nigeria really has helped me to lay the groundwork for excelling in math and science, and I thank God for that, and I want to give that to other people. So take care, have a blessed day, and thanks for watching.